Alright, so while I was looking at these little guys, I was thinking about how cathartic it is to draw them, because it's a chaotic process, and they themselves are chaos. Kind of nasty. But I figured I would share the process with you guys so that if any of you guys want to create your own nasty little goblins, you can. You don't need fancy supplies to do this, honestly, because, I mean, gross mixed up colors would work perfect for them. That's kind of their vibe, so whatever you have works, but I'm going to be using just my watercolors and then a pencil. A really weird chunky one specifically, so let's get into it. Alright, so step one is the head. You can just do like a shape, whatever shape works for you. And then their eyes, I just draw like two like half circle-esque things on the sides of their heads and just scribble in the pupils however you want. Next up are ears and the mouth, whatever order you want. I try to be as chaotic and not planned out as I can while doing this, so I'm pushing really hard and just kind of moving my pencil in whatever direction suits its fancy. And then I'm just implying a little nose. Just a little muzzle for the little guy so he can sniff things. This one looks a bit more concerned, which is perfect. I'm gonna give him a little bit of this going on by the sides of each of his pupils to enhance that. And give him some little hairs just for funsies. Add some shading in his ears for funsies. And I'm not doing it in any nice way. Literally just scribbling it in. Gave this guy some arms for funsies. I don't know if I want to give this guy arms. I might just leave him as a head. Let him vibe like that. Next up is watercolors. You can use whatever brush. I'm using this one. I don't know what it is. It is that. Normally I use these if you've ever seen me painting out in public, just because usually I don't plan to do watercolor, so it's nice to be able to have something ready to go. But since I'm at my desk, I figured I might as well. This is like my only like actual watercolor brush, so I'm just using it, getting some practice in. This whole exercise is just practice for me, basically, and it is very fun. Alright, this cup, if you look in the bottom, it has gold doubloons. That's to help me clean off my brush better. Kind of fun. They're not real or anything, of course. I just got them at a market a while ago and I like them a lot. And they work quite well to clean off a brush, so fun little thing. If you have any rough coins, they work. But I'm just mixing together turquoise and then also this quinacridone violet and a couple other colors. So yeah, it's basically this violet plus burnt umber, which gives us a nice reddish brown to work with. It's a very fun color. And then we've got this like nickel, which is that like really vibrant golden yellow color with the turquoise. And it gives us green. This is very concentrated, so I'm going to have to add some more water to dilute that down. Because our gremlin guys, as you can see, are a bit more pastel than that. Although this color is quite lovely. Alright, and you're just going to start with a light wash. You can literally do whatever you want with these guys. Honestly, the messier the better. But because part of my goal with this is to like make the colored pencil stick, I'm purposely overlapping the colored pencil, or not the colored pencil, the normal pencil, just a little bit everywhere I go, which adds to the chaos, hence why gremlins are perfect. Alright, got this guy's washed down. As you can see, it's just super pale. This is the underlayer, so I can layer on top of it with other colors. And for this guy, I want him to be slightly less green, so I might mix a bit of purple in with the actual green first. Just getting that mixed right up here. You can see it's more of a, like, gross color, which is perfect. Giving him his nice, more muted, grayish colored wash here. Alright. Now that those two have their base layer, thankfully the next step does let me go in before they dry, so we'll be adding some little accents, including shadows and just darker spots, and also the little pink that's in their ears and nose. So I take some of this purpley brown stuff we mixed up earlier, and I just tap it on their noses, tap it in their ears, like so. And now I'll be going ahead and spreading it out. Alright, just adding a little bit of more like intensely purpley color So it's just like the unblended quinacridone without the burnt cyan or burnt umber, just so that there's a little bit more of a cool tone in a few spots. You can literally do whatever you want. The general idea I'm going for here is like a relatively cool body, and then anywhere where there's like a lot of, like where the skin is thin, so there's like going to be more blood or it's going to get colder, that's just going to have the warmer tones involved. But I'll probably also mix some purple into some of these shadows here. Just so you can see how subtle it can be. There we go. Watercolor is kind of crazy because you're literally just moving a bunch of pigment around and a bunch of water all over the page and hoping it goes where you want it to. It doesn't look like I added much pigment, but it'll have a very subtle effect of adding warmth and shading to that area. Pulling out some shadows on this guy. And I actually want even more of like the weird mix of the two. That gets me this kind of like more muted color. Just so that I can give this guy a little bit more like, yeah, that's what I want. Sweet. So at this point, you're really just like putting the more muted colors and the other colors that you mix together wherever you want to get the results that you want. And it's kind of fun because you can just splash whatever colors you want in there and they'll kind of spread around and do fun things. And after I'm done adding in just like the basic shadows and stuff, I'm going to go ahead and add some warmth to the very tips of the ears to make it look like there's a lot of angriness in them, because I really like the concept of Tasmanian devils where the tips of their ears get kind of orangey when they're angry. And at least for this guy, that's the vibe. Mixed our quinacridone violet with a little bit of the yellow from the beginning, and I'm going to be using this to add some like warmer spots that aren't necessarily like blood or anything, but that have a bit more just vibrance to them. It'll make these areas in particular look a little bit more lively. And now I am bringing in a new color here. It's more of like a more muted blue. It's this color right here. It's like an off ultramarine, and I'm just mixing with a little bit of the green mixture I had to get it to be a little bit more subtle. And this is going to give me some shadows that are still adjacent to this color, but that are a little bit more subtle and muted. Alright, I'm loving how mold adjacent they're looking, but I do think I want to warm up those ears just a bit, so it's time to get that weird super vibrant orange out. Gonna put him up here, get a little bit of our yellow, not too much. And of course, a teeny bit of our quinacridone violet to keep it unified. Alright, and all blended up, it looks kind of like this. Alright, and there is just a pinch of white gouache in here. So, that gives it a bit of opacity and power over the other stuff. Helps it stay a little bit lighter. And you can see it's got a couple new colors in it, but a little bit of the quinacridone helps it stay unified, and it gives that ear a nice warm pop. Alright, now both of them have it in their ears. I'm going to go ahead and just add a pinch of shading to the corners real quick. I'm going to warm up their noses just a little, because I feel like they need to be a little bit more similar to the ears. And now I mix some Payne's Gray and the purple again. I just think a pinch more shading will do these guys some good. Gotta be subtle with it. You might be able to see in all the little tiny corner spots that I put little tiny drops of the purpley stuff. Now I'm just giving them a little bit more water to help spread them out a bit more in the directions I want. Alright, revisiting the teal and green combo just to add some accents. You can see it right there. Basically all on this side to help add shading and just to cool them down a little bit. And then this guy, I'm also adding it just in a few different spots to help him also be cool. Because it's a roasty summer day. And as you can see when I add it here, it just kind of brightens him up a little bit. And I feel like, I don't know, it just makes it kind of a fun sort of mold. And I'll call that good for this step. Now I've got to wait for them to dry so I can add like fine details and stuff. But now you guys know how to do the base. Well, I mean, now you guys have seen how to do the base colors. I will say you probably got to try it out yourself in order to figure out the vibes that match your style. But honestly, it doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't. It can just be chill. And while you're doing it, if you feel just like this guy, or just like this guy, both are perfectly fine and will actually help you to make a better end product. So, you know, might as well give it a go and let it be an imperfect, fun journey. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day or night. And if you decide to do some art, whether it be of goblins or gremlins or something else like flowers, I hope that you enjoy your time making them as much as I enjoyed making these.